Hello, how's it going? I have an important message today for anyone who was raised by a narcissistic parent, because you grew up hearing certain things and you were too little to understand what those things really meant, and so instead you came to believe these other things that weren't true about you, and now you still live by those things as if they're truth, and they are not. So stay tuned. Very important message. But before getting into it, I want to just say hello. Anyone who may be new here, my name is Allisun. I'm a trauma recovery coach, and I was raised by a narcissistic parent in an emotionally immature family, intergenerational system. And so I feel your pain with this issue that we have to grow through and heal from. It's a super important thing to bring awareness to and heal from. So thank you so much for giving me some time in your day today and letting me be a part of your life. Thanks for being a part of my life. Nice to meet you, everyone. Hello, lovely to see you here today. Anyways, let's get into this message, okay? Let's just jump right in. When we were growing up and our parent was, for example, mad at us consistently for doing things that, sometimes were okay, other times weren't okay, or just in general for doing anything and it was never okay. As children, we didn't have the capacity to understand that our parent was just a negative, hateful, critical person. We came to understand that we were hateable, that we weren't good enough. Something was inherently wrong with us, and this carries on through our life today. Us thinking that we're the problem, we're not good enough in some way or another. Sorry, my phone just went off. Phone's on silent, please. Rather than the truth, which is that our parent is simply unhappy with life, and we are a part of life, and therefore they're unhappy with us. But it has nothing to actually do with us. Another example is perhaps your parent was unhappy with a lot of things in life, critical of a lot of people, a lot of situations, every situation, or of their health, or of their partner, of relationships in general, of a certain gender, of a certain political party, so on and so forth. We didn't understand that it was them. They are the critical, negative, hateful one. We thought that life was perhaps negative, something to be critical of, judgmental of, that life isn't good enough, and that there's something to have a problem with, rather than everything's okay, most things are good. Sometimes there's problems, but those are the problems, not life in general. Life in general isn't the problem. Life in general is okay. We didn't understand that. We learned from our parents and saw the world as they saw it, not them as they are and life as it is. Does that make sense? And present day, although now that we know that our parent is narcissistic, is emotionally immature, whatever the case, we still believe that we aren't good enough because we learned growing up wrongly that we aren't good enough, rather than this person who we're around often thinks of us as not good enough. It's a them problem, not an us problem. We still live our life as though it is an us problem, and it's not. We are good enough, okay? We put so much pressure on ourselves, and it's just... Oh, a kitty. Okay, so I want to give you an example from the other side of the coin, the flip side of the coin. I love my cats so much. I promise this is relevant. I love them, and then they do things like this. Pharaoh's trying to open the blinds. Pharaoh, not right now, baby. The door downstairs is literally open. Go actually outside instead of sitting and looking through the window just to be by me. He loves me so much, he just wants to be by me. But I'm working. Cat on, cat. Go outside, kitty. Go outside. I love you so much. Oh my gosh. Brings me back to my point, I suppose. I can't imagine how I'd feel about myself if my parent gave me the love that I give to my cats. If whenever I came in the room, my parent was like, Allisun, it's so nice to see you. I'm going to give you some attention right now and appreciate you. And if you get sick or you're being rowdy, I'm going to see it as you need a little bit of love, a little bit of caring, and I'm going to give that to you. And over time, you're going to learn that emotions, they flow. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, but we're still lovable, no matter what. I just don't think I was given that growing up. And I feel like I'd be more like my cats are now if I was. But instead, I have this shadow that is always attached to me, you know? Shadows are so weird, by the way, don't you think? Anyways, of feeling not good enough. It just follows me everywhere I go, this haunting, this shadow of not being good enough. And honestly, it casts shadows on my life sometimes. My life doesn't feel good enough. But it's not true. It's not true. And it's not true for you either. You're good enough. Your life, I'm sure, is good enough. And my takeaway for you today is to plant a seed, to just plant a seed of starting to feel like that. Of starting to see the world through this new truth of you being good enough. You're not hateable. This person that you grew up with was just a hateful person, for example. You are good enough, and your life is good enough. And you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself and feel so ashamed for not being exactly how you feel you should be. Plant a seed of appreciating how you are exactly, of who you are right now, as you are right now, of how your life is right now, of where you are in life, of how far you have come, and how far you want to go. It's cool that you have these ideals and these dreams that you want to strive for. That's a good thing. It doesn't have to be a terrible thing that there's a gap in between where you are now and where you want to go. It's opportunity. Appreciate who you are. Appreciate your life. Plant that seed, and with everything, every moment that you remember the seed, water it. Give it some sunlight of appreciating yourself as you are right now and appreciating your life as it is and however you want to. You know, this isn't toxic positivity. This is reframing, relearning how to perceive and interact with the world. And I'm just going to end with one little scientific metaphor for you to help put this all together. CPTSD, how I learned it develops. Imagine a machine. And over time, that machine was missing a part that it needed to function efficiently, effectively, optimally. Over time, the machine starts getting a little bit out of whack. It still runs, but it learned how to run, how to work without this part that it needs to run efficiently, effectively, optimally. We grew up without a part that we needed, which could have been feeling like we were acceptable exactly as we are, and like life is okay and trustworthy and safe and joyful and glorious and amazing. We grew up without that part, and so we're kind of functioning out of whack. And we learned how, and we're getting by, but this little thing, this little seed that we're planting could grow into being that part, and we could learn how to run in a more effective way. So, continuously give yourself that part, that thing that you need. Reflect. What is it? What did I grow up understanding because I didn't have the capacity to understand what actually was? What truth do I have that's not true that I still live through? Does that make sense? My words are feeling like kind of poetic and vague today, but I'm just gonna go with it. And I think in general, I'm gonna leave this as is, okay? Let it sink in, marinate in your brain, digest throughout your body and your life. See, so vague and metaphorical, symbolic today. Very interesting. I wonder why. I wonder if the Mercury and the Venus are like trined or something right now to make me be all fancy and my schmancy talk. Okay, anyways, Allisun. I'm gonna let that be for you, and I'm gonna get going. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please, look, are you subscribed? If not, please subscribe. It would mean so much to me. It would help YouTube know that this is a great video and great channel, and it should share it with more people who may really, really benefit from it, okay? Please, help me out, okay? Do all the other things that YouTubers ask of you, and plant that seed, most importantly. And I'll see you next time. Take care.